Hello.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Good. How are you doing?
Not too bad. How's life?
Good. Good. How about you? How's you still a true trader?
Yeah, yeah. I love those guys. Yeah,
Yeah, Adrian's a beast over there. Or
yeah,
Adriano. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Yeah.
Adriano
I
has a very, very good heart. A very good person, kind
yeah
person.
I joined True Trader back in July, and then
Mm,
I also joined Investors Underground here not too long ago as well. Just trying to get a full grasp on all of this stuff.
mm, okay.
So, how long have you been trading?
11, 12 years I've
Oh
been
wow, you've
trading.
been at it for a while.
Yeah, I gotten some white hairs to show for it, so yeah, it's been there. Okay, for the sake of efficiency, can I ask some questions if you don't mind, so
Yeah,
I
go
understand
ahead.
where. So, how long have you been trading for, and what is your stats in terms of your accuracy and your profit factor if you track those things on TraderView, and kind of like if you have one
Oh,
or two things that's your main issue that you would love to get an opinion on.
okay, yeah. So I got into the forex stuff about 3 years ago, and back in March, about 2.5 years, I finally decided it's just not working out. I didn't have a good mentor, and I couldn't find a good area that just suited me. So I jumped over to stocks. I started out with warrior trading, which I think at this time is probably a mistake.
Yeah, it's
Uh, and
no hating,
the
man, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it just it he caused FOMO, and it just chase, kind of do what Ross does. But yeah, it just I wish that was a big mistake. It cost me quite a bit of money. Let's put it that way.
Sorry to hear that.
No, it's okay. It's part of life. Just work and go on. And then from there, I joined True Trader and Investors Underground. And since joining those two, I get the Investors Underground kind of put me over the top of just of seeing stuff. I'm still doing paper trading, just trying to. I don't want to jump in too quick again. I'm a little bit of gun shy, I guess. After,
Understandable.
um, but since then, I think if I'm still using that Warrior Pro stuff, so I can track all the metrics, and I'm about a 1 to 1 on the risk to rewards. Usually not too much over. It kind of varies from week to week, and then my winning percentages range from 65 to 70.
That's pretty good. Those are good stats.
Um,
Is it small cap, big cap?
Mainly small cap, but sprinkled in big cap here and there. But I'm trying to stick with the small cap because when I do go live, it'll be a little bit of a smaller account, so I kind of have to stick with a little bit of a smaller
Um,
stocks.
are you are you playing the short side, the long side?
Both, it, yeah, both sides for the most part. Um, I did for a while. I was trying to go with just the shorts on those stocks that gapped up, big stocks that gapped up that were just kind of the crap stocks.
Hmm.
But I think I was getting caught a little bit on this front side, and I've been trying to find the back side more often now, and that's been helping out quite a bit.
Yeah, the golden. There's a meme that goes around that says the something to do with backside. It's funny. It's in my head, but I'm like tired. I'm like mad tired to think of it. But finding the backside is like finding the golden goose egg. Um,
Yes.
so what is the one or two things that you would love to talk about, or something that's like confusing, or you're like, I wish, like, something that's repetitive, bugging you, something that you want to work on?
So
What
I guess with
categories?
me is trying to determine. I don't know if it's possible or not. When you're looking, what is your number one? Can I ask you, if you don't mind, what is your number one go-to setup? So I know on True Trader.
You're not gonna like the answer, but go
Okay,
ahead. What were you gonna say?
on True Trader, it looked like you do a lot of you short a
Yeah,
lot of the small caps.
yeah. I'm a fundamental short seller. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't
This-
have a setup. So I'm not a I'm more of a fundamental short seller. So in terms of what's my number one or number two setup for short, honestly, it's price action and it comes from filings. So no matter how much you know about fundamentals and file, so let me answer your question directly because I have ADHD
No
and
problem.
I go back and forth a lot.
I do the
So
same thing.
my I don't have a setup per se, but I have a lot of respect for price action more than my fundamentals, or they're equal. So high or low is a must, which is one indication of that it could work, and using hard stops. So I don't have a setup that's like this setup happens, I'm gonna go all like, because small caps is a bit more manipulated.
That's where I
Um,
was. Sorry to cut you off. That's where I'm having a problem is trying to define setups on that stuff, and I guess that's one of my big issues.
you know the basic concepts, right? Like a higher low, lower
Yeah.
low.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So just kind of wait until that happens. So with small caps, whether it's the long or the short, your risk management has to be tight. To be honest with you, it's more dangerous. I'm very happy that you are trading on demo. Uh, find consistency. So you have to have a hard stop in small cap. The setup, again, I'm trying to ask myself, I guess, failed follow through, but a higher low. For me, the conviction comes from my work, my due diligence. I looked at the overhead and I look at the volume forecast. But these are things, don't get caught up in it. So a lot of the times what happens is traders like, the reason why I'm not doing well is because I haven't figured out this thing. If I figure out the filings, if I figure out the volume forecast, that is the golden thing that would change my trading, change my career. No, risk management. If you go back and look at what happened with Warrior Trader, you will realize that I may be wrong, but I'm very positive it's the risk management that killed you. Risk
It
management,
was
risk management is
risk
key.
management, and then trying to just follow what he was doing to an extent. I thought I separated myself from it, but he would get all excited. I'm going in, and I'd be like, oh, he's going in. I probably need to go in too. And I was like, I finally got away from it and just said, I got to stop
Yeah,
following him. He over trades.
I'm gonna try and not talk bad about it, but all I'm gonna say is I kind of short his picks because I know you're not alone. But I don't want to digress, spend time in that. But
No,
that's
I
not,
understand.
in my opinion, it's not a strategy. You have to. I'm not gonna. I try not to back talk bad about anybody.
No, I understand. I
Um,
understand completely.
so the setup would have to have price action as your number one. Number two is, uh, geez, I don't know what the number
You were saying the volume. God, what was that? What you
forecast.
called it?
Well, volume
Forecast.
forecast and overhead. So these are all the. If you dig into short selling, these are all the terms and variables that will come along. And what happens is when you explore into it, it would be like, oh my God, this is the golden goose. If I figure this out, it will be like game changer. But it's not. Volume forecast is just an indication what potentially a stock would do, and you have to track a lot of stats and blah blah blah. You get some determination that the stock will do this much volume. You don't need to be a brain science. Like if you look at this floats, uh, so I'm trying to give you an answer. What is a good setup?
Mm-hmm.
But the truth is, it would just be a very simple thing, like higher lows would be there. If you want to wait for a lower low, then that's really, really cool. You know what? If you want to be a disciplined trader and you don't want to be stupid like me, sometimes I trade horribly. And if I am super, but that's it's like my trading style. My trading style, not to trade stupidly, but
I
like
understand.
I add to a winner, so I do higher lows. But the problem with that is if you're not disciplined, you take a lot of losses, and I take a lot of losses. I take paper cuts, but because of my conviction, it works out. So if a good setup, to answer your question, try to wait for a lower low. Um, so like basically when the trend is completely broken, and then you wait for a spike and then short it. price action
Okay.
is king. If you try to look for key variables in small cap, that will be a game changer. That it will never be the case, even if it is a setup that you like. An example is uh, Steven or Duxinator or whatever.
Uh-huh.
They utilize one metric is that if it gaps into a strong volume resistance, it will fade. So a stock 5 months ago did 55 million volume, and today it's gapping up to the level. So the odds of it working out, and it's only doing like 30 million volume or 20 million, 15 million volume, it's supposed to reject and fail. So that's so theoretically you will see, oh, that works, but it doesn't work for the reason that they explain it. So if a stock has 2 million volume and it traded 20 million, even if the resistance has 50 million volume, it will
Uh-huh.
still start skipping. So it just works because everybody else makes it work. So if you were to find something in terms of a setup where somebody tells you, this setup is the king, do this all the time and you'll win 70-80% of the times. I don't think that's a good long term model. The good long term model is straight up just waiting until a trend is broken, a lower low is broken, ideally. And that's if you want to have a high conviction rate, and then you just have a tight stop.
Okay. So I see you guys. You have your little group on Discord. I think I've seen with you and Bobby Mort or whatever, and you guys do a lot of fundamentals in there, don't you?
Um, Not as much as I like to,
Okay.
but yeah, the the thought process is like we go and look and read, because in the morning it takes hours and hours. Like we're up like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and usually till like 9. I'm just literally researching like 8 to 10 stocks, and then it's just the devil's in the detail. And then
Uh-huh.
from that, I compose 3 to 4 stocks that I'm interested, and I try to post. I'll be like, hey, I'm interested in this, and I write down the overhead. Yeah.
Okay. What is there certain videos or something you watch to get a better grasp on the filings and the fundamentals?
Um, Ricky Analog has made some videos,
Yep.
uh, but to be honest with you, no, there's no
Okay.
videos that are out there. But uh, like, what warrants and convertibles and ATM and all that stuff is?
It's vaguely. So I'm still.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
one part of my another part. I guess another not one part. One of the many parts that I want to learn. So I'm trying to learn as much as possible right now. But at times I overwhelm myself because I go I go in too deep, too many different ways. I think.
Can I be very blunt with you about something?
Absolutely.
Don't. It's a rabbit hole. If fix if you think risk management's your issue, fix your risk management.
Okay.
Because that's a deeper hole that you can dig into. Dig into it, but find consistency in your trading.
Because I think the risk management,
Is king.
when I really lay out it and I find that I actually follow my risk management, I don't lose stupid trades as like just letting them float away on me.
Mm.
And that's where my killer is where I'll lose a big trade and it wipes out 2 or 3 or 4 days worth of winnings.
Yeah. So please don't. The filings and the fundamentals will look like a shiny object that
Uh
will
huh.
cure anything, but it's not the case. I promise you. If you know anything about me, I'm very blunt and very honest.
No,
Yeah,
that's great. I love that.
yeah,
I'd rather have somebody be straightforward with me than
yeah.
kind of sugarcoat something for me and lead me down a path that is
So
not worth it
so
time.
filings and all this, for a beginner trader, it's a shiny object. What you should work on, even in your demo count and your discipline, uh, is like Google the living shit out of how do prop firms risk management. So you risk management. If diverting the topic to that would be making sure that find out what your average green day is. Make your demo account similar to what your real account's going to be, and then find what your average day is, average green day, and then have a daily max lockout. Some brokers allow you or allow yourself. So,
Okay.
let's say if your average daily gain is $100, so your daily max loss can be either 150 or 200, nothing more. If you hit that, that means it's done. So if you're risking $30 or $50 a trade, whatever the amount is, the amount in stocks does not necessarily matter. It doesn't matter a large portion of the times. But so you don't, and what you go through, like where you make money and then one day you take a loss and that wipes out the whole thing. That's why that will happen a lot more when you dig into the filings. And when you dig into the filings and you're a beginner trader, risk management, it gets horrible. So what you should focus on and what you would drastically benefit from would be to, if you know your daily winner, so your stats were good. You said 70% and then 64, 70% and 1-to-1 ratio. So your average trade. So let's say I'm going to make an assumption that's $100 average day. Each trade you're taking $30 win loss. You're making 1-to-1.
Okay.
So kind of have that, like either have a $200 daily max loss. When you hit that, you stop. Your platform liquidates your positions, or you are disciplined enough to stop completely, and then you move. Then you come to the next day. Just walk away. Shut the computer. Walk away. That's it. Call it a day.
Okay.
And what other rule measurements should you have in place? If at the last time you had issues with stopping out, then you need to use hard stops. And the third variable that you should use, I hope you have. I've been trading for 11 to 12 years, and in front of me, in front of my desk, to the left of me, right now I'm literally picked it up and I stared at it. I don't know if you can hear, it's paper.
Yeah, I can hear it.
To the left of it, it shows what my stop is. So if it's a 10-cent stop, then I can risk X amount. If it's a 15 cents, I risk. So the simple math is, let's say, if you were risking $1,000 in each trade, then if you have a 10-cent stop, you can take 10,000 shares. If you have $1 stop, you can take 1,000 shares. So those are the things that you just have to write down. If you want, I can send you the math behind it if it doesn't make sense.
No, I got the math part.
Position sizing is basically critical.
Yeah, the math has been one thing. Luckily for me, has always been come pretty easily for me.
Okay, so yeah, if the math is good, then you have to have this paper in front of you. Position sizing is key.
Okay.
So work on this, get consistent, and then the rest kind of stuff will really follow.
That's what my demo, which is not the same, I understand, and I need to get back to some live money to get the emotions behind it. But like I said, other than for the past month, I think I had 3 red days, but they were big red days, and that's where I've just got to. Once I know I can remove those red days, I'm on the right path, I believe. I hope.
So how do you have those? Why did you have those red days? You have to analyze those.
Risk management. It comes down to the risk management.
Okay. Did you not stop out? Was your size too big?
No, I didn't stop out.
Did you enter one shot?
Most of the time.
Do you do like the pivot stuff?
Not as much as I do. Nate lays out some levels in Investors Underground a lot of times that I'll trade off of, and he's usually pretty spot on with his levels. And then I got biased on which way the stock was going, and I just let it go. And I think on one of the days I doubled down, and I shouldn't have. So I try to treat it as much as I can emotionally like a demo account or like a live money account, but sometimes it gets hard.
And so you gotta
Yeah,
have all these rules, man. Don't add to
yeah,
user.
agreed.
Have daily max loss of 1.5 day average gainer. So that's the thing, man. This is why earlier on said I could literally tell you this is the overhead, this is the volume projection, this is this. It won't help at all because what's happening to you now will happen 10 times more because you get a lot more convicted. So you have to
So,
work on, that's the problem that you're having. Externalize it. Listen to a lot of Brett Steenberg. You know who he is?
the SMB.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why I've been really following a lot of that SMB.
And listen to an audiobook called Trading in the Zone.
I've listened to that one once or twice. I need to go back. It's been a few years.
Yeah.
So trading. Is that Douglas?
Yeah, Mark Douglas.
Okay. I got that somewhere.
I have beginning of it in my YouTube, but YouTube like banned my other video. They might ban my channel.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they removed. I had in two parts. They removed one, and they're saying it's copyright something. I'm like, okay, I guess I won't be a millionaire through YouTube. So I just let it go. But yeah, have a max loss. Write up the paper. Everything in front of you.
It's just this stuff I should know, but it's nice to talk to somebody. I don't really have any people around me that trade, so it's hard to talk to people about this. So it helps. I really appreciate your time.
No, anytime. And ask Nate, whatever. Don't just take somebody's levels. Like always try to understand where it comes from. And add volume profile. So you said what's the setup? I don't do setup, but I do volume profile.
Okay, so that is one thing I've never messed with. Is that with the volume on the side?
You have TOS?
No, I have TradingView.
You can add a volume profile to it, so like on a chart.
Yeah, let me add. I got one pulled up here. Let me put it. Are you using the 1 minute chart?
I'm usually 3 minutes or 15 or an hour. Here, I sent you a screenshot. Jeez. Here, I sent you a screenshot. What a volume profile.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not usually like that. I only have it to the right, but this is a chart that is something I have to the side. And these studies
Okay.
I don't even follow, man. Like it's just a VWAP and standard
Okay.
deviation.
So essentially, what the chart or what the volume profile is the levels that are sticking out further, or where most of your volume is done.
Yeah.
On the with prices at that point.
Yeah. So if this bounces, see this thing that I sent you. So if it goes down to the red part, it's called point of control, which means the highest volume is there. So that's 1076. If the stock washes down to 1076 and 1060s, and then all of a sudden I see some kind of a bounce or a higher low, or if it's like a really strong capitulation in that area, then I'll be like, okay, it's worthy of a long, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
So look at the one the day before. You see where in pre-market at open it like washes below it, but then it holds 1076 and it pushes into 12.
Yep.
So that's literally volume profile.
So what would be your entry on that? Is it like a new high there, or where it breaks over?
Which one? You talking about the?
So on that with the first time it hit 1076, not the. I guess it's the second day or the middle day there.
The middle day, okay. What would the entry be?
So you're talking about it washed below 1076, and it came back and it kind of checked off of it.
So there's some terms like confluence, multiple variables. So you know volume profiles there. It goes below it, goes above, comes back, retraces. So what did that do? That made a higher low, right?
Yep.
All of a sudden you have a higher low. So the more variables you have, the better it is.
Okay.
So example like a daily breakout or a daily level or higher level or pivot or whatever. So down here it made a higher low. Price action is king, right?
Yes.
I could tell you this company is a piece of poop. This is probably it's Fiesel, I think.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter. It's worth 2.2 billion and had dilution in the past. Blah blah blah. But so here it's at volume profile level. It goes below and then it makes a higher low. So now we know volume profile's there. We know it's bouncing. Somebody else is buying there. They've been buying there for a long time. So you would buy that and you would risk the previous low, right? So that
Previously,
looks like
okay.
1076 because it's a simple that keeping it simple stupid will go far. Don't
Yes,
so
I get.
one mistake that you kind of made is following Russ, and another mistake I hope you don't make is following Nate. Ask
Oh
the
yeah,
questions. Be like,
no,
why
Nate.
is he using that level? Why is he
Okay,
using that? And that
and that's what
aspect.
Nate usually, and he lays it out there. He looks to essentially Nate he goes look to the left, and that's where Nate's putting his levels out there. Most of the time is from previous price action to the left, previous consolidations and stuff like that. So, but yeah, Ross was I just marked that
Yeah,
up as a lesson learned.
yeah.
So, and you answered my next question was the risk management. Do you risk off the low or do you risk off of your 1076 point there?
Nah, you risk off of the low. You don't want
Okay,
to.
so that's too tight.
Yeah, yeah. Because like that, especially if yeah, no,
Okay,
not for beginning at all.
okay, no, gotcha. Much appreciated.
No worries.
So, well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. So
No, no, it's fine.
this is fantastic. Just talking to somebody about trading. um,
It's not an
like I
easy
said,
business.
it's not. It gets lonely. It's hard to talk to your wife about it at times,
Yeah.
and sometimes I feel like I don't like bothering people
Hmm.
on face or inside chat rooms and stuff like that because like I said I'm at times I just don't know what questions to ask. I'm still trying to learn, and like I said I don't want to ask a stupid question that can be found on Google and such. So, but I will look into how to trade all this volume profile, and then you said point of control. Is that comes within the volume profile
Yeah, yeah,
indicator? Okay,
yeah. It basically just means that the biggest volume is there. So at that
gotcha.
point, there was a lot of people that were interested that were trading, that believe
Okay.
that's the good price.
Do you use those true trader pivots?
True trader pivots like the weekly and monthly and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I am learning to use it. I have not used it in the past. I've been speaking to Adriano lately. They tend to work well in pre-market.
Uh huh.
Um, but I try to keep my charts. Even this chart here is really messy. My chart doesn't have this. I don't have these a lot of these things in there. But to answer
Gotcha.
your
So
question, no. I have just VWAP and
got
I have another chart. I have some of this like this is VWAP standard deviation. There's no. It all depends on the strategy, man. It's like, but to answer your question, no, I don't use it. But I am trying. I am trying to put it on a side chart with pivots in there. I have a lot of respect for Adriano, and he like if there's multiple pivots at around certain thing, those are could be some indication because pivots are basically volume profiles. So at that point, like pivot, like that's when it pivoted. A lot of people agreed or disagreed on the price. So
uh-huh.
when it gets to that level, uh, if there's multiple pivots there, it works. But yeah,
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I said this leaves me stuff to really work on, and I've got it. Like I said, I think sometimes FOMO gets the best of me at times, but I'm really that's the one thing I've gotten a lot better grasp on as I've traded more and I was able to kind of define what I need to be trading and what I not don't need to be trading. So, but this helps. Like I said, this helps out a lot just talking.
okay, happy.
So,
Uh, any other quick things that you would wanna that you're like this thing is doesn't make sense or
um, yeah, I think I said that the price action, trading price action is kind of, I think, like you were saying too, is what I need to stick to. sometimes I think I'm in the backside of the move, and then it shoots up through those highs. So that's where I've got to just exit. So do you give it, like, if it just breaks your high or your risk, your stop? So like if you're on that, if you're trading below the low on that, as soon as price touches that price point, you're exiting.
So
So on this example here, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So as on this example here, we had that low kind of right at the pre-market, and then it breaks up above 1076. If it were kind of to come down, let's set lows at, I can't tell, maybe 1030. If it hits 1029, are you exiting?
So, okay. That's a good question. And I have been trading for, like I said, for 11, 12 years, and that's one of my problems and flaws that I have. And that's a very, very tough question because you're asking whether it's a discretionary trader versus just like stop. So discretionary, I think, for me, what it means is like, do you let it go over under that level?
Yeah, Nate speaks a lot of that over-under stuff.
Yeah. That stuff, bro, you have to be position sizing king and a lot complicated for beginner traders. From my experience of 11, 12 years, it's not a good idea. So what
Okay.
will happen is, so if you were to do something like this, so if you're like, okay, if it gets to 1030, I'm gonna see how it works. I'm gonna let it go over under, or I'm gonna stop out. That's the question that you're asking, right?
Yes.
And the worry and the fear that you have is, what if that thing hits 1029 and instantly comes back? Then you will feel like shit because you got stopped out, you got played, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that will happen. And the question becomes, should you do it? Uh, I think we should stop out there. We should stop out there, even if two, three times it hits it and it goes below. And this is like a very controversial point of view because some people are like, no, you shouldn't, no, you shouldn't. Two things. I'm going to be very blunt. Because you're a beginner trader, if you were to let it break 1030, I'm assuming that 1030 is the low. So it breaks that, and then it goes down all of a sudden. Let's say it's a capitulation level, it goes to 1010. So you were risking like 10, 15 cents, and then, or 20 cents, and all of a sudden it washes 20 cents. And then because you were watching that level, how it reacts, all it takes is that one time because you let it work out, it will F you up.
Yeah, and you doubled your loss of what you were risking.
Bro, you would be lucky if you doubled it. You know what will
Yeah.
happen? Go back and look at your losses, and
Yep.
don't feel bad, because 12 years of, I want to swear so fucking bad at myself. I have issues, okay? I have issues.
We
I'm
all
mean
do.
to myself. I'm very mean to myself. I do those kind of retarded shit all the time, and it pisses me the fuck off. But
I
that's
hear
my
you.
style of trading because I'm very small size and I let it go over under. But I think it's the wrong mindset to have because that one time, it's not you're going to take a double loss. You're going to take a 5x, 10x loss. So the losses you had, would you say they were double or would you say it was like way bigger?
Oh, way bigger.
Way bigger. Go back, make notes. I'm willing to bet something similar happened. So the question goes down is, do you stop out and wish you were in a trade? So this stops out and you're like, damn, I wish I was in a trade. So an example here, 1076. Let's say you take a long and you're risking the VWAP, whatever. You take a very tight stop, 1074. It hits 1074 and then it goes to $12. And you're like, damn, fuck, I wish I should have been in this trade. Where the fuck did I stop out? I need to use this. I need to be more loose. I need to not use hard stops. The market
Yeah.
makers come and hit it. The fuck, this is bullshit. Blah, 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 blah. And you know what? The point is valid to this point. But it's always better to be wishing you were in a trade versus it goes down against you. It breaks at 1030, and then all of a sudden it goes to 10 or lower, or something happens, or an offering happens, you would think it doesn't happen, but 100% it happens. It goes down and it gets this. Or the same concept with squeeze. So you should have stopped that at the high of the day, but you're like, I'm going to give it over under. Boom! Big volume kind of comes out. And you're like, what the fuck? 3 times the loss. No, I'm going to hold. And now 10x the loss.
Yeah.
So,
No.
moral of the story, it's better to wish you were in a trade than to be in a trade and wish you were not.
I follow you. Yep. It all makes sense. I agree. And I hear a lot of what you say. I'm the same way. I talk to myself the same way. I cuss myself out and what the blankety blank were you thinking here? And when I make stupid mistakes or when I miss something.
That's not a good thing. I'm going to tell you something else because it's a flaw. We won't progress. But let me add one other thing before we go. I do have to go very soon. Okay. Is if you were to stop out at 10:30, 10:29. I'm not gonna say it. You could use 10:28, whatever, 10:27 as a stop, not the 1 cent below. But if that was to happen and the market maker did hit it, you have the opportunity to come back in. You know what I mean? So you have another opportunity to come back. So let's say your stop was 10:28. I'm assuming that low is 10:30. Doesn't matter.
Yes.
So you put a stop at 10:28. The market maker hits it, goes to 10:26, and then it reclaims 10:30. And it's like fuck. It goes back to 10:40, 10:50 above. Take another long, and now risk that new low, 10:26. You know what I'm saying? Or even when it reclaims, hits 10:28, goes back above 10:32. Take another long. Go risk another 5-6 cents. Make sure you use a hard stop. And because you'll get emotional because you're like, these guys hit my target. Like what the fuck? Now I'm not gonna fall for it again. But that's always, in longevity's sake, it's always better. Small cap is a very volatile thing. Like it'll hurt you bad. So.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate your time. I said I don't want to hold you up too much longer, and maybe one of these days we can chat again. I don't want to, like I said, take up too much of your time though.
No, I enjoyed this, and again, genuinely, thank you, because sometimes I talk out of my ass, but when I say and repeat all these things, it also helps me. We're traders, we're humans, so I appreciate you for coming on voice and being open about what you're going through and your struggles and the problems that you're having. Know it happens to other people as well, and if it doesn't happen to those people, then they have a chat room. They have a service that they want to sell you because everybody else struggles with this stuff. So
gotcha. Yeah. Well, like I said, once again, I appreciate you, man. This is great. It's great to talk to somebody.
Yeah, I appreciate you, brother. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy.
Happy Thanksgiving. Have a great day.
You too. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Amigos, that was a good session for me. I hope it was enjoyable for you guys. I love what I do. I can't wait to become a millionaire off this YouTube views. For all 10 of you guys that watch, spam click that ad button. Just kidding. I don't have ad revenues. But I hope you guys are benefiting from this. And all I ask is that you guys share it with somebody that would benefit. And if you've made it this far, it could be an indication that you like this stuff. So click subscribe, click the notification bell. Every time I post it, I try to answer the questions. And the other thing is that if you find these things beneficial, try to listen to these things as you're doing daily activities. Just food for thought. Like instead of listening to music when you go into the gym or you go in the car ride, there's a whole series, Helping Trader 1-on-1. It's long, it's boring, but yeah, just be productive. And And yeah, and just listen to them as you're going, not because I want to make billions and billions and billions of dollars from ad revenues, uh, but because I think it will help you guys and help you guys progress. If you made it this far, then you know you're looking to grow, and it would. It's very wise to listen to these kind of things if you can put it on YouTube, or maybe I can put it on some other platform sound, or you can, if you find a way to play YouTube while you're like going for a jog or something, or in the car. That's what I do, to be honest. I listen to other people while I'm being productive. So have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourself. Take care. Bye. Click subscribe and thumbs up or thumbs down. YOLO life.